Welcome to Yellow Brick Road. I am Jordan, and today we got another fan request. That's right. This time, the hypocrisy of anti-SJWs on YouTube. Tim Pool's fuck boyfriend. This got ratioed for some reason, but we'll check it out. Before I get started, don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to Devon's Journey to Recovery, to helping victims of Africom, to Cohen, Daly, the Australian boy. Also help out some content creators, Stevie, aka Ren Economics, Sleepy J, Buy My Coffee, and allegedly Ali Alexandra. All links in the description box. All right, this is a video from Turf Nation. I kind of watched this video already, but I didn't pay so much attention. Ironically, I was playing Call of Duty while I just played it. And it's ironic because he'll be playing Call of Duty as well. I think Cold War or Black Ops Cold War or whatever it's called. You know, fun propaganda. But this type, now I'm a lover of film and a bunch of entertainment things, man. Video games, film, music, right? TV, all that stuff. I enjoy it. I've always enjoyed it my entire life. In fact, it might have didn't keep me sane or healthy minded or anything like that, but you know, when you're like in a terrible state of mind, hey, sometimes certain things are like your angels approaching you, especially with any of it. I found metric through a video game, film, the ideas, reason why I do what I do now. So many things, TV, all that shit. It's everywhere though. Doesn't mean the things I like are better than other things for everyone, right? This thing I call spirit and soul and all that shit, it's everywhere. So as I've said to someone else before, like you can turn a rock over, straight up, like literally turn a rock over and find something inspiring there. So I don't know why I went off on all that, but whatever. All right, so this is gonna call out the hypocrisy of anti-SJWs on YouTube. This should be fun because these guys are playing a role in why movies fucking suck today, in my opinion. The mainstream movies seem like they fucking suck. They seem like it. Joker, mediocre. The Marvel movies, fun, mediocre. As far as the depth, the level of depth I want to see. I know people say like, "Oh, there's political stuff in there." Well, let me rip apart politics and show you how shallow that even idea is. But all right. Point is, these guys turn movies into a battle of culture warriors, right? To where it's either the filmmaker versus a particular sect of society or the counter, right? The reverse. They're just using these things as vehicles for political narratives, and it's just boring. My God, does the art suck. But, all right, sorry, done ranting. Here we go, from Turf Nation. I never heard of this guy, so here we go.
So it seems you guys really enjoyed the last time I talked about anti-SJWs.
Oh my god! What the fuck?
Looking back on my video, there are definitely things to criticize about it. I was going on vacation,
Yeah, it's Call of
so I had
Duty,
like a couple days
Black
to write my
Ops,
script,
Cold War.
and some parts of it naturally felt rushed because of it. I didn't always take
I turned the
necessary
speed up
time
too,
to
so
find the
that's why it
exact
looks like he's
example
moving
or
so
source
fast.
to back up my claims. I still stand by
Kinda
everything
mediocre,
I
too.
said, but there are definitely things
Okay.
that I should work on when it comes to writing structured videos and calling other people out. However, this mixture of people criticizing my video making abilities and the die-hard fans of the critical drinker came together to write over 5,000 comments. And damn it, I lost 2 years to COVID, and you can be damn sure I'm not going to waste another year responding to fans of the critical drinker. However, I did read quite a lot of them, and oh boy was it glorious. The comment section was filled with a lot of toxic masculinity, and to be honest, I was definitely expecting that. There are some fun ones, like the
Toxic masculinity? Turf is the kind of guy to ride a horse with both legs hanging over one side. Okay, that's funny. That's funny.
this man who said that Turf is the kind of guy to ride a horse
Dude,
with
they're calling
both
you
legs
soft,
hanging
bro.
over one side. And it's just good fun, because it's true. Then there were some real fucking alpha males who just really told me off. And there's this guy who felt so good after writing his first comment that he just had to write another. And of course there's this menace to society who threatens to take my Pokemon cards, and not gonna lie, that one hurt a bit. The ironic thing about this
Now, it's funny because you know, these culture fucking warriors and shit. Like, I'm not even sure they're fanboying for this content creator, I guess, the critical drinker or the quartering or these fucking weirdos, bro. Was it Nerdrotic, whatever? And I'll listen to the quartering. I think he's just trash in general. I don't think he knows much about movies. The Nerdrotic guy, when I listen to him, I think he has an understanding, at least of storytelling, pace, cinematography, and all that. He has some sort of sense of that. But obviously, the culture stuff has probably dragged him in too. Where it's like, are you even looking for like quality films, or are you looking for SJW agendas, or whatever the fuck? Here we go.
This video is that it's about misogyny, and 98.3% of the viewers are male. And with an average view duration of around 20%, you just know that a lot of these dislikes come from very angry men who didn't even watch the video. Beyond these alpha males, however, there were some actual homophobic people in my comments. It's 2021 and some people still think calling someone else gay is a valid reason for them being wrong, or a valid point of criticism. Listen, I'm not talking about when guys call one of their friends gay ironically. That's usually harmless, but these people proudly tell the world that they're homophobic and that they believe that being gay is a negative. Imagine being so fragile. I can't believe I actually have to explain this in a video, but I'd be
these
the
guys
exact
think they're
same person I am now if I was gay. You being attracted to the same gender
right. On the surface, it looks like whatever, male testosterone, toxic masculinity, rebelling against whatever the fuck. But really, I think if you dig underneath that, it's a sense of they think they're fighting a battle of good and evil. And it's basically bullshit culture warrior shit. That'd be interesting if that was actually like, let's say there's some woo-woo thing, like a force of nature coming in, trying to, adapt people, move them towards the moral battlegrounds. And instead, some assholes, some corporate assholes, political assholes, weirdos on YouTube, content creators, are all, kind of perversing that sense of things and trying to funnel people towards culture war bullshit. Where that becomes the new battle of good and evil. Whether you wear red and black, or you wear Proud Boys, or SJW versus Anti-SJW. Meanwhile, there's no morality to be seen. Just only a sense of it, not the actual thing. Now. All right, here we go.
Nothing to do with
you guys ever realize maybe you just disagree on things?
Person because you know what it feels like to be hated.
Not actually battling demons.
By people who don't even know you. Because people who hate gay people still exist. This guy is living proof of that. Thing is, I talk about my support for minorities a lot on this channel. And in my videos, I call out socially privileged white men who complain about the inclusion of minorities in cinema. But guess what? I'm a fucking white man myself. I'm not even part of the LGBT community. I'm a straight, cisgender white man, as plain as they get, a big fat normie, and that's okay. Being white, being straight, being a man is not a bad thing, despite what a few extremists would say. Listen, don't let a misandrist you've seen somewhere make you believe that feminism is about genuinely hating men, because it's not. You do not have to apologize for being born a white man, but you can learn to accept that there is still social inequality in the world today. Personally, I have never been treated negatively for things I can't change. My race and my gender have only ever been a privilege, and that's not to say that I haven't had struggles in life. I have, like everyone has.
Hurry up.
The point is that my struggles haven't come from the color of my skin, or what's between my legs, or who I love. Yes, white people can technically experience racism or prejudice, and men can experience sexism, and it fucking sucks.
Anthony,
but the reality is that acts of prejudice and discrimination happen way less to white men than to other social groups. However, I'm not going to sit here all day and complain about being called a soy boy or educating my viewers on how to be respectful. Let's move on to what I really want to talk about today. The one thing that really stood out to me in the comments was the amount of people who don't know what a reactionary is. People thought it was
okay. Now it's slow it down. Still sped up, but
hilarious to point out the fact that I'm criticizing someone for being a reactionary while I'm reacting to his content. These people don't understand what a reactionary is, and that's fine. A lot of people who watch YouTube videos about movies and pop culture aren't into politics. They probably just don't care.
A lot of those type of fans like run away.
What it is.
Yeah.
So I'll do that now. Being a reactionary
not from this guy
does
probably, because he
mean
probably has an equally shitty argument.
Rather, it's a political or social ideology that sees a person wanting to return to a previous political state of society.
Like, oh yeah, all right, come debate me on it.
That are absent in modern
Never see him again.
A reactionary can also simply want to uphold
that's me bragging, humble bragging.
And is essentially against change or progress. For example, getting annoyed at the fact that women are more commonly being portrayed as strong and independent in movies nowadays is a reactionary thing to do. And the reason people on this platform like to call out reactionary YouTubers is that
there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. like some of my favorite shit is strong female characters. I think the problem is the cultural, like there's an emphasis on it, and then it seems forced, and then it makes it look an eyesore, ugly looking. It's terrible, and it's usually followed with bad movies. Right? It's usually a bad movie doing it, but I think movies in general are bad. The guys who think like, look, there's no SJW agenda in here. The movie still sucks. Joker sucked. Didn't suck. It was mediocre. But it's not a fucking masterpiece the way these guys built it up. Anti-SJW, man, it's a great movie. It's like, no, you guys just don't. It's like you've never known what a good movie was. This is just exposing that. But yeah, go watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Charmed or all this shit that had feminist ideas riddled throughout it. And they were good to me. Because you have like toxic masculinity. Oh, American Psycho. Here we go. Christian
That it
Bale and all
often
that.
goes further than just being right-wing.
Before
Because like I've said so many
Sunrise,
times
strong
before,
female
if your
character.
political viewpoints lean right, then
Juno,
that's fine. Please don't think I'm attacking
strong
someone
female
just for being
character.
right-wing. The real problem
On
is
and
with
on
the
and
people
so
who are
forth.
either extreme right and therefore are against human rights movements for women, people of color, LGBTQ+, and other social minorities, or the people who are just grifters, which is a term used for people who indulge in petty or small-scale swindling. In terms relevant to YouTube and anti-SJWs, it's someone who doesn't actually care about what they're talking about and are just in it for the money or attention. If my comment section taught me anything, is that there is a large audience on YouTube for anti-SJW and anti-woke content. It's people who believe that any person of color or any woman in a prominent role in big franchise nowadays is just some kind of political agenda or a forced diversity movement that aims to ruin cinema as we know it.
There is that too, where there just happens to be a whatever, a lead character that's black, but he's just a normal boring ass protagonist or hero character. People are gonna complain like they're forcing that. Like maybe they are. Maybe they are, but the movie and the character still sucks. So replace him with a white guy, it's still boring and sucks. There's a full 90s fucking boring masculine hero character. What did we just watch where I'm like, oh, Kingdom of Heaven? Like Orlando Bloom? Like, he's fucking boring. That's not even the 90s, that's 2005. What a boring character. Surrounded by other boring characters. Except for one character, and he fucking dies. Doesn't have that many lines in the movie. Who's the king? With the leprosy or whatever. Anyways, here we go.
There are a lot of people who think this way on YouTube, and you can find a lot of YouTubers who've realized this and use this mindset to make a shit ton of money. The thing is, the critical drinker isn't nearly the worst of these kinds of people. He's actually just a film reviewer who usually focuses on the art of cinema and doesn't outright center his channel around anti-SJWs. But sometimes he just can't stop himself from going to great lengths to point out wokeism in cinema, even in places where it's just not needed. Too often does he blame the quality of a movie on the inclusion of a woman or a person of color, or any mention in the movie about social issues. And that's what we looked at in my previous video. He may have proper analytical reasons for not liking Thor Ragnarok, but in the video we watched, he blames his dislike of the movie solely on the inclusion of strong female characters.
And realised that he basically spends the whole movie playing second fiddle to strong female character and strong female antagonist, and getting his ass kicked by both.
He persuades his audience.
That movie was terrible. You can go with the Jody's Corner version where he's like, all right, what is Thor Ragnarok supposed to be? It's supposed to be this epic, fucking apocalyptic looking fucking thing with a big payoff moral lesson at the end, or like existential thing at the end that like, oh no. Asgard is in your, like, you are Asgard. Wherever you go, it's Asgard. It doesn't matter about the material things that get blown up or whatever the fuck. Like you carry it. You carry us with you. Pause. But instead it was just a comedy, whatever like bad movie. Thor has been sucky everywhere. I'm sorry, Natalie Portman. Sorry you had to go through that. But yeah, Thor has always sucked, period. And if they add shit like that, it's like, doesn't save the movie, doesn't make the movie any worse. It just still sucks. I mean, if it's forced, obviously it'll add more outside the movie. But like, man, why are you adding this shit in? But it doesn't help the movie to get rid of it. Here we go.
Audience that watches this video to be against women in movies that aren't in roles that they're used to. And yes, you don't need to tell me that, hey, he likes this female character from this movie, so he can't be against the inclusion of women. It's a stupid argument, because it doesn't take away from what he says here. He's possibly not misogynistic. I don't know him personally, but he's catering to all the actual misogynistic people out there. And a lot of my comment section proved that. However, he's not the worst kind of anti-SJW. I think he actually believes most of what he says, which is at least more respectable. But people like Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, and the Quartering are prime examples of people who've used respectable. But people like Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, and the Quartering are
This guy's the worst. He's the worst. He smells the most inauthentic, and you don't actually know anything about this stuff, do you? Maybe he knows like comic books, but he knows nothing about like great filmmaking or anything like that. Like the culture warrior dipshit, grifting culture warrior dipshit. The Geeks and Gamer guy, I don't really know him. And the Nerdrotic guy, who I've gotten to look at his content recently, at least has some type of film backing. And Anthony told me he said some stupid shit on Tim Pool's show, right? But I can see a bunch of different idiots that just, they're enamored. They're in some sort of space, and they want to be nice and come off as the good guy, and they want the audience to love them and all that shit. Not excusing it, just saying like, I'm looking at that nuance of it. But as far as when I heard him break down a film, like I think I saw him break down like a little bit of Dune. I'm like, oh, okay, this guy can actually talk about film. Now I don't think he can do what I do as far as like all the little underpinnings of these weirdos from Hollywood. I don't think he can do that shit. When I say weirdos, I don't mean it's all nefarious. Some are, some aren't, but like you watch like a movie like Eyes Wide Shut, it's like clearly like, Kubrick's taking his weirdness and putting it in the film. Or The Dark Knight, you can see Nolan's weirdness put into the film. Not just story, plot, act 1, act 2, act 3, payoff, credits. You get the gold, you get the girl. Not just that. There's underpinnings to the movie, and it's, like I said, most of the time, if I see like depth like that, usually seems like a positive thing. I know a lot of people will be like, "Oh, it's an agenda, it's predictive programming." It's like, I'd be like, did you really see the underpinnings of the movie? And then a lot of people might tell me like, "Oh, you're just seeing what you want to see," but I'm like, "Okay, here's this documentary where it explains the underpinnings of the movie." Like, oh, well, that movie doesn't count. I meant this, made by the same guy. No, I'm joking, but at the same time, it's like, I can see people saying that. They'll get wrecked. Anyways, here we go.
prime examples of people who've used this anti-SJW hype train on the internet only for self-profit. As we pointed out before, Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers is a
Get
proper
woke,
grifter.
go
There's this
bro.
old clip of him saying that he loved The Last Jedi.
I love The Last Jedi. I love The Last Jedi. And I think it did a damn good job for being what it needed to be for Star Wars.
But after making that
One of the worst, not just Star Wars, one of the worst movies I've ever seen. The Last Jedi. My God, is that horrible. Now, to be fair, I'm carrying the context of Star Wars with me. So when I'm like watching The Last Jedi and I have all this other information about Star Wars and then I see this fucking thing, I'm like, holy shit. Holy fuck. Straight up subverted the audience. Straight up subverted your viewers by starting with movie one that'll lead you to think certain things, but then absolutely go the opposite direction for the sake of maybe surprising us, or because you don't like the way because they switched directors and he's like, I have a completely different vision. It's so different that you absolutely chopped the first movie in half. Like, they made the first movie irrelevant. And they go on in the third movie to make all the other movies irrelevant. All of them. They're all irrelevant now. Hilarious. Here we go.
that video, he saw the hate train for the movie and he switched to making an excessive amount of videos trashing The Last Jedi and talking about how Star Wars
I did
was
like Rey
ruined
in the
by
first one, like
SJWs.
the
And
idea of
since
her.
then, he's made a shit
Like,
ton
oh,
of
she's
videos
like
on
a
why The Last Jedi
prophecy
sucks,
chosen
which is
one,
why
like a
Disney
real
Star Wars
chosen
sucks
one.
in general. Way more videos
Where she
than was
naturally
actually
has
needed to
gifts,
critique
and
these
then
movies. And if you watch the videos, like I have, then you'll know
you know,
that
they
the
should be
criticism
fleeting,
he
but
has for the
then
movies
you know she
barely has
develops
anything
them.
to do with film criticism. Basically, it's garbage because it's SJW.
Are you sure about that?
However, Star Wars isn't the only victim of his wrath. He has countless videos on why Brie Larson is the epitome of evil. Just look at this shit. There's hundreds of videos. He doesn't actually hate Brie Larson or what she stands for. He just knows that her name will get
like
him a
Brie
shit ton
Larson.
of views from young men or
I don't really
teenagers
know
who hate
much of her
feminism.
work.
Because yes, people hate Brie Larson
She's
for being a
beautiful.
feminist and for having a bit of an attitude.
And I know
in
she
a
played
couple of
Captain
interviews
Marvel.
She did for Captain Marvel. Anyone who
Captain
hasn't
Marvel
been
was
manipulated by toxic anti-SJW
okay.
bullshit knows that nothing Brie Larson has done
was
warrants
eh.
hundreds of videos trashing her. And it's not just Geeks and Gamers. Nerdrotic, The Quartering, and so
I
many more
I
have this
do know
weird
she can
obsession
act,
with Brie
like
Larson. And for the
a
love
real
of God,
actress
I
and
don't
shit.
understand what she's done to piss these people off. And trust me, I've tried to understand. I've watched a lot of these videos, but it just comes down to the fact that she has a personality that they don't like. And apparently she brought feminism into Marvel, which has then led to this new stream of woke agendas in the MCU, like the Falcon talking about racist undertones in modern society. These people pretend to be fighting for the purification of film, but in reality, they're just reactionary anti-progressive grifters. Basically, movies nowadays aren't allowed to talk about the problems with society and try to change the way we view the world, even though movies have always talked about the problems with society.
I say why not, but it's just they're not for me. I mean, they're so shallow. It's just boring to me. Hey kids, don't do drugs. That's what my ears hear when I see these types of political messages. They're so basic and shallow. It's like empty to me. Like, hey, why not do something bad? Like, why should we not do something bad? And then you see, you know, Nolan's Batman go through a whole existential process of why he doesn't do bad. There's a reason for it. There's underpinnings to it. He's grounded and also floating in the sky at the same time. He gets heaven and touches earth at the same time. Well, I do good because I'm good. That's what you're going to do with your art? Okay. And from there, they don't explain good. Now he just gives, when he says a narrative, a message or something, it's just political sounding. And it basically is just political, because that's the depth of the character. It's shallow. Here we go.
And try to change the way we look at the world. That's what art is. But now it just pays really fucking
All right,
well to be mad
microphone.
about it, I guess. Whereas it didn't before. Thing is, these people describe a social justice warrior as someone who pushes their political agendas into movies without actually giving a shit about the media in question. And they only care about their social message. I got this definition from Mr. Geeks and Gamers himself, and they all use it. Naturally, however, the definition of the word doesn't fucking matter. People tend to change its meaning depending on the context they use it in. For example, anyone who disagrees with them is an SJW. If you care about social issues, then you're an SJW. If you think the choice to cast a black woman as Ariel is cool, then you're an SJW. If you want more female characters in film,
I don't mind. Then again, that's not one of my, that's one of my characters that I love. So if there is someone who loves Little Mermaid, or upset what race she is, even though it doesn't seem like that. Seem like that matters there. I don't know. They're make-believe mermaids, bro. By the way, I think Ariel, right, the Little Mermaid, I think is based off of Alyssa Milano's face. Pretty sure.
then you're an SJW, even if you truly do care about that franchise. These people say they have a very specific definition of what an SJW is, but they'll use it on anyone who's even a little bit left-leaning. I get called an SJW myself all the time, even though I'm also a massive fan of Star Wars, and just generally think people deserve the same basic human rights and respect. The thing is, there definitely are examples of these so-called social justice warriors, people who are overly progressive to the point where they become aggressive and often lose touch of the issue that they're apparently so passionate about. Many of these people are performative. These types of people do exist, and yes, sometimes movies are created with the sole purpose of attracting a certain group of people to make money, instead of trying to make a good movie. And these movies don't fail because of the women or the people of color who are in the movie, they fail because of the lack of vision of what to do with these actors and with the story. Many movies have been made that shine a spotlight on racial and other social issues that are really fucking good. So it's not the push for inclusion that's the problem in modern cinema. However, people like The Quartering, Nerdrotic, and Geeks and Gamers have gone so far into this anti-SJW movement that they don't understand what it even is that they're fighting for anymore. If you take one look at their channels, you'll see that they're massive fucking hypocrites. Think about the definition of a—
Yeah, Cohen grifter, don't use him as an example. I'd say these other guys aren't grifters, I don't know enough, but Ordering, definitely in my mind, definitely.
social justice warrior. It's
Very
someone
sure
who
of it.
only cares about their social message. Someone who tries to interject their political values into something that they don't even care about. They do this shit all the time. Look at Nerdrotic, for example. This man doesn't look like he's a fan of the MCU anymore. He hates everything about all the new stuff that comes out. But yet, he's still pushing his social message. And yes, all this anti-SJW shit is still a social message. Talking about strong female characters or forced diversity ruining modern cinema is still talking about
Doesn't know how
identity
to slide
politics. The very thing they criticize. Saying that the Falcon and the
that a
Winter
Mac
Soldier
10?
is woke
Go up
garbage
on a Mac
is an
10.
SJW thing to do, according to these people. Remember, this is all in reference to Jeremy's definition. Believe it or
Scope
not,
on a
being
Mac
against the
10
increased
or
inclusion of women and people of color
Reflex.
in media is still a political stance
Weirdo.
on a social issue. I wish it wasn't, but it is. So you, my friends, are just fucking hypocrites. Listen, for all I know, they could just be bigots who really do have a problem with progressive change, but I don't think that's the case. There's so much money to be made from making content that attracts the actual bigots, and these people take advantage of that. That's why we call out anti-SJW reactionaries on the internet, not just for grifting and exploiting bigots for money, but also for promoting dislike towards social minority groups like women,
There you go.
people of color, or the LGBT community, or hatred towards the people who support these groups, especially within pop culture. But if you want to watch some videos that go into way more detail about these topics from people who are way better at formulating their arguments than I am, then I do have some links down in the description. But anyways, that's basically all I wanted to say for today. Obviously, I had to address the critical drinker video and better explain some of my arguments, like why I called him a reactionary, and why I believe it's toxic to promote bigotry online. If you get angry at what I'm saying without actually listening to my arguments and thinking about what it is that I'm saying, then perhaps you need to take a deep look in the mirror and ask yourself why. However, naturally, my word isn't law, and you all have the right to disagree with me. So let me know down in the comments whether you believe I'm right in my assessments or whether
Sounds like an SJW to me. Stop it there. Can't look that enough. So yeah, movies, entertainment, all that stuff. I think particular movies in this case. There's definitely been I would think it leans more towards marketing than actual social justice, right? Because then these guys would just be like, oh, we should just give our money. If the majority of the poor are minorities, then I would like, fuck, we have all these billions of dollars, we can just give it away. Build them housing, make sure they have food, all that stuff. We can make sure of that, can't we? We have enough money. But obviously, it's marketing and pandering to eat up more money from these guys. Just being real about it. That's the way it seems. And even at like, let's say someone was experimental. Like there was a black dude when he was a kid dreamed of being Batman, and when he got older, wrote himself as Batman in his own story in his own film. If the film was amazing, I'd be like, well, I prefer Bruce Wayne look like this, but if it's a great movie, it's a great movie. It is what it is. Sorry, I call it what it is. That's just where I stand at. And obviously, you have the grifter types, you know, getting paid off of the culture war stuff. There's that too. Fuck that. Fuck that. Give me good movies. Bring me good movies back. I don't care about the culture war bullshit. I care about it because people are engaging in it, but that's not what I look for in my art. I want substance. Tell me, like, show me you went through some shit. As a writer and director and filmmakers and actors and actresses, all of them, whole crew, man. Show me you went through some shit. And you're trying to capture it. For me, it'd be like, this can add something. It's real, because I'm human, you're human, and I went through this, which means if we're both human, you have some sort of aspect of that. Maybe it's not the same story, but here it is, whether it's in direct form or metaphorical. I guess it's always metaphor because it's dramatized people acting and stuff. It's not the actual scenario, but here's like, take my metaphor for this type of experience. Can you relate to it? Yeah, no. Whatever. All right, I'm done. Please subscribe if you like. Comment. Agree, disagree. Tell me what you think. The Last Jedi, is that a good movie? No, fuck it. You think Last Jedi was a good movie? I don't know what to say to you. I have no words for you. Sorry. Don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Check them out. If you can't donate to them, share them. If you can't share them, read them. Can't read them. I wouldn't know what to do then. But please check it out and donate if you have money. All links in the description box. With all that said, give this video a thumbs down.
Say you wanna get in.